I'm Sarah Bernard, and I'm back with Tasha Thacker and her financial planning tips for the new year. It's January. It's a great time to be thinking about the year ahead. We've been talking about planning a budget for the year. And so one of the things that we haven't talked about yet is college planning. I've got a high school senior, so this is foremost on my mind. Is obviously it's a little late for it to be foremost on my mind. We've been thinking about it for years and kind of planning for it, but
Sure.
when is it time to start thinking about your child's college future?
The earlier, the better. We often see our clients opening what we call 529 accounts. Every state has a sponsored Section 529 account, and the rules vary a little from state to state. Some offer income tax deductions, some don't. It just kind of depends. But that's the best way to do it. The 529 gives you an incentive to start saving. So long as you withdraw the funds for qualified education purposes, all the earnings that your dollars grow throughout the 18 years until your child's ready for college comes out tax-free. You can use it for tuition, for books, for room and board up to a certain limit. So those plans are really the best way that we have come up with to save for college.
Yeah, and from what I know about in Missouri, it's called the Missouri Most program.
Correct. Yeah.
Or plan. The money, if you have more than one child, if you don't use all the money in one child's plan, it can pass to the next child. Is that right?
It can actually pass up to first cousins that close in your family. Yeah, so it can actually go to up to a first cousin.
Okay, that's interesting. So you can load up the first child.
Right. And if they don't need it, you've got another one, you can use it for them.
So is there a rule of thumb for how you just had a baby, let's say, and you've got 18 years to plan? It's really hard to know what that college cost is going to be 18 years down the road, but also what kind of school that your child may go to, because the tuition varies so much between private colleges and some of the state universities, for example. So is there a rule of thumb for how much we should be putting aside each year?
Well, I think you have to kind of keep in mind that have an idea of what you want to pay for. Do you want to pay for a public school? Do you want to pay for a private school? Do you want to pay for grad school? You have to kind of have an idea what you're willing to fund, I think.
Right.
And then also keep in mind that the inflation cost for education is pretty drastic. On average, it's around 4 to 5%.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. And we always like to plan to underfund the accounts as opposed to overfunding the accounts.
Okay.
That's kind of our rule of thumb.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And I think you bring up a really good point too, because I've heard of parents who say, okay, we know that we'll pay for our student to go to the equivalent of a state college in terms of tuition. So I'll put that much aside for my child, and then anything above and beyond that, the child can figure out how to match the difference.
And that's typically what we see. They are committed to a certain amount, and if they have more than one child, they'll do that amount for every child, and it's kind of the kid's decision where they want to go and what they want to do with it.
Exactly, yeah. So it puts some power in the kids' place too.
It's a good way to teach them a little bit about,
planning.
If you want to do this, this is kind of going to be on your dime too.
Exactly, and I'm having that conversation right now in my house. So, okay, so let's segue for a quick second to estate planning. Estate planning, a lot of people think about is something just for the wealthy, but we were talking off camera about how that's not really true.
Yeah, that's a very common misconception. I think that anybody, young adult age and on, estate planning is pertinent to. Specifically, there's 3 documents that any person should have: a will, healthcare directive, and durable power of attorney.
Okay, and so let's talk about each of those things real quick. So the will do what exactly?
The will, at your passing, distribute your assets as per your wishes. It'll also, if you have minor children, it'll name a guardian for your children. So very important if you've got children.
Okay. And then the medical directive, let's talk about that.
The medical directive gives someone, an agent, the authorization to act on your behalf to make healthcare decisions for you should you become unable to do so.
Okay. And something I just heard and just learned actually is that when a child is 18, their parents no longer have the ability to have, they don't have the right to medical information. So if their child's in an accident, let's say off at college, the parent can't get information unless their child has signed that medical directive. Am I right?
Exactly. That's why it's so important to make sure. And again, most people think that the estate planning is for the super wealthy, but these things don't have anything to do with how wealthy you are.
Yeah, and this is all about estate planning. These things are part of it.
Right. Exactly.
And then the third one, real quick, is third part
The
of
durable power of
the durable
attorney.
power of attorney.
That gives someone, an agent, the authorization to act on your financial matters should you become unable to do so.
Okay, so all these things are really important for anybody to address with their attorney, or they can probably get information online.
Exactly.
Yeah, or call Tasha. That's what I would do, just call Tasha. Well, thanks again to Tasha Thacker for sharing her financial tips for the new year. Hopefully they will help you to have a very prosperous year. Don't change the dial just yet, though. I want to tell you about a very fun event, the annual No Pants Metrolink Ride. I'll be right back to give you the details on that. Thanks for joining us.